Welcome back to more disturbing videos, and I hope you're all having a good week so far. I've got an update in relation to Carl over at Red Pill or Blue Pill. If you do watch his channel, unfortunately he did get a strike, so he's not able to upload for the next week or so. But if you get the chance, go ahead and bounce over there and show him some love and support. And on that note, let's go ahead and dive in.
A real monkey was put in a Mickey Mouse costume and made to perform in the 1934 musical March of the Wooden Soldiers. The footage is unsettling.
At one point, the monkey looked as though it was actually suffocating in that suit. But listen, it's Disney. I mean, what would they not abuse?
The Rockefellers were the wealthiest family in the world and managed to grow their wealth across 7 generations. John D. Rockefeller founded Standard Oil in 1870 and took control of the entire oil industry. John D. Rockefeller maintained his wealth by creating the famous Rockefeller waterfall method. Every single member of the Rockefeller family had a substantial life insurance policy taken out on them. The beneficiaries of these policies were always tied back to the family trust, and within that trust was a cash value life insurance policy, which acted as the family bank. Family members could take loans against the cash value of their policies throughout their lives, and when they passed away, the death benefit paid it all back, effectively reloading the funds they used during their lifetime.
Not only did he create the waterfall method for his family, but he also wrote the Secret Covenant to control the world's population through various means, and also their CIA activities as a family during the 1960s, the schools that they created and established for worker bees like you and me, and also the New World Order agenda as well. But listen, they're a great bunch of lads.
I'm walking New York City. I just saw one of the most disturbing things I've seen in a long, long time. So, first, there was a homeless man, and he was naked. And there was a police officer, and there were some guys maybe who knew the homeless man, trying to get him to put his pants on. And he was clearly having some kind of episode. He was completely naked, and he was very upset. There's obviously a lot of problems with homelessness and mental health in the city and across America. But then, the part that really actually upset me is, I would say 10 feet away, there are these 4 young people, young, early 20s. And there's a young woman, well-dressed, probably going out with her friends tonight, for the night. And she's videotaping the naked guy having his breakdown, and I'm watching her laugh, and I walk by and I look at her phone, and she's posting it on social media. This guy at his lowest of lows, struggling with mental health, and it's a fucking joke to someone. God, that's all, but that really got me.
Mental illness is no joke, and I've said this time and time again, I do feel that smartphones has sort of destroyed society to a certain degree. I mean, I remember a few years back coming across a video clip where there was a guy who had Down syndrome, and he was literally begging for help in the middle of the lake drowning, and the guys recording him, they were young lads, and all they were doing was laughing at him, and literally recorded until he actually drowned. And you have to think to yourself, if we didn't have smartphones in these situations, would those situations have played out differently?
This man is already dead, he just doesn't know it yet.
While I would recommend not looking this video up, there is a very good lesson here. Truck tire blowouts can be very deadly. This video that I got tagged in shows two mechanics working in a shop with a very large tire, and both of them are inspecting it closely. And this is one of those videos where you know something bad is going to happen, and it does. This tire explodes, and this mechanic does not survive. Just to give you guys some perspective as to how powerful truck tire blowouts are, this is the result of one. Nothing hit this vehicle. This was solely the explosion of the tire. Common causes for tire blowouts are improper maintenance or some sort of manufacturing defect, but one thing is for sure, when it blows out, you don't want to be next to it. This is what happens when a dummy is positioned next to a truck tire blowout. It goes flying, the head and helmet stay here. There are actually quite a few videos online showing mechanics looking at truck tires or just people working on truck tires on the side of the road, and this happens, and unfortunately many of them don't make it out alive.
There needs to be better safety procedures in place when checking tires like this, but it might just be me here, but during the summers I always kind of freak out on dual carriageways or motorways, because if I'm beside a lorry I always have that fear that a tire is going to blow out. But is it just me, or do you guys actually feel the same way?
Students across the country are posting images of what's on the menu at their schools in a new phenomenon called lunch shaming.
How is that milk?
Cafeteria food has always been the butt of jokes, but this isn't funny.
Look at what they're giving us at lunch.
Students disgusted by what they're being served are taking their beef online.
Look at this. This is the main meal. It looks like puke and applesauce. Nasty.
In Paterson, New Jersey, parents are up in arms after images of moldy food and expired milk were shared online. Can you even tell what this is? Apparently, it's supposed to be a chicken cheesesteak sandwich.
It is disgusting. And I definitely would not feed that to my children. I'm not sure that I would feed it to my pet.
Before the pandemic, many schools used to make lunch in the cafeteria. Due to staffing shortages and budget issues, those days are gone. Now, lunch is prepared by outside vendors. Students in Woodbridge, New Jersey say the food is inedible.
There's enough that us as parents have to worry about.
If that is Bokaroo, how no harm to you. I mean, do you know where you get served better food? Prison. I'm not saying something.
This has just blown my mind. You need to see this. Scientists have created nanobots that can handle individual human cells, sort of like factory workers. These microbots can grip, move and rotate individual cells that are a mere 40 microns. But without any motors, how do they actually work? They're operated by a technique called optical tweezing, where researchers manipulate microscopic objects with highly focused laser beams. They can pick up and move things across the 2D surface. The principle is similar to why a ball can get stuck in a fast-moving air current from a hairdryer, but instead of air, it uses particles of light to exert the pressure. With this method, the optical tweezers are used to move the robots around as well as slightly deform them in specific locations. The elasticity of the microbots holds the cells in place, allowing individual cells to be moved around, rotated or pushed together without causing any damage. This is some mind-blowing stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments.
We take in particles through the air, through our skin, and even consume it through things like drinking Coke. So how long before we start to take in these nanobots the same way? And how long after that will these nanobots be able to carry some form of dosages that will just be inserted into our human cells?
Birth certificate
is the creation of the fiction, the creation of an entity that
This is the difference between a person and a human being. So this happens...
Yeah.
When you register the child?
Yeah, but you're told you've got to register the child. You're told you must. Now, in legalese terms, in the Law Society terms, must is synonymous with the word may. So you've been given a choice. Because at the end of the day, it's a statute. If you don't register after 42 days, they reckon you get £1,000 or whatever they reckon, right? The truth of it is that you'll get about an £8 fine. A year later, the Attorney General will actually write you a letter to say, would you like to register your child? They can't make you do it, okay?
See, I didn't know that. I mean, I have two children, and I registered them.
Yeah, I did it at all. Can you imagine how I feel now? So when you look at the birth certificate, right, and look at every part of the birth certificate and look at the wording that's used, and it's incredible, absolutely incredible. But the last bit is the most interesting. The father is classed as the informant, right?
The informant.
And his qualification is he is his father, so he knows that there's a child being born, so he can inform on that child.
Yes.
Right.
So what if the mother registers the child? A lot of single parents register children, don't they?
Do you know what? I don't know. That'd be something we could look at. But we've looked at quite a couple of birth certificates to quantify this, right? To have a look at this, and I'm going to do more. Underneath, it says this is very fascinating. I like this piece. Okay. This is where you start talking about different jurisdictions. It says your name, which is not a signature, it's wrote, and it says the declaration of. Now, a declaration is in common law. The only person who can make a declaration, which is a declaration or affidavit within common law, is one of the most powerful documents within law, because it's a sworn oath of your truth.
Okay.
Yeah?
So you swear that this is your child or whatever?
No. You're just saying it's a declaration from a human being, because he has to act on behalf of the fictitious father, which his name is in capitals, to inform the child is there so they can make another fiction out of it. That's how it works. So basically what it is,
when we register our children...
You put them in slavery. You just don't know.
They become a bonded slave?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Exactly.
That's quite powerful stuff, isn't it?
No, but it's the truth. Go and look for it yourself. It's the evolution of slavery. Yeah, I know, but in the evolution of slavery, it's something that's quite amazing when you look at the word slavery and you look at sort of civil relationships between people and a state, and people use the word citizens. Citizens, we're not a republic. We're not subjects either. Subjects is that means we're subjected to the rule of something.
Well, we are a constitutional monarchy, aren't we, officially?
Ah, do you know what a constitutional monarchy is?
Do you know, I have a feeling you're going to tell me, John.
A constitutional sovereign, very interesting. Constitutional sovereign is locked in constitutional law with no powers whatsoever. They can guide, they can warn, and they have the right to be informed. That's it.
That's it?
That's it. That's all they can do.
State,
basically what they are is a mascot.
We're paying an awful lot for this mascot, aren't we?
Yeah, no, but it was needed. It's a requirement for them to succeed in what they've done. To get us to where we are now, it was a requirement, and they had to lock a certain dynasty into the requirement as well, using another part of this country as a bargaining chip.
What do you mean another part? Come on. Don't tease.
Mate, there's so much to this. It goes all the way back. You know, I mean, Magna Carta, look at the wording of Magna Carta, and pull me one article.
I've got it, actually. It's funny you should say that.
I have a copy of it.
Magna Carta, 1215.
Yeah.
I've got all the ones you've highlighted on your website. I should say your website is www.tpuc.org, which stands for, I've written it down somewhere, the People's United Collective.
Absolutely.
There you go. Anyway, and you can download copies of Magna Carta, Charter of Liberties of Henry I, 1100, Declaration of Rights, 1688 to 1689, Bill of Rights, 1689, etc. on this site. Anyway.
Whether we like it or not, through no fault of our own, we are slaves to the system. As we speak, our personal data is probably being bought and sold all around the world, and the letters and combinations that we see in our birth certificate is nothing more than just a unique serial number that identifies us as individuals. And when it comes to the online IDs, once this becomes established, we're no longer going to be seen or identified through a serial number. We're going to be identified through a barcode. And I think at that stage, that's when we really need to step back and say, who exactly are we?
Are you delusional? Are you delusional?
Built in the 18th century, long before electronics or transistors, before batteries, even before electricity. But in a field of pure applied mechanics, they've never been surpassed. Certainly, they have style, not just the mere clockwork precision that you might expect. We're all used to push buttons, to automation and electric brains, but there's something charming, almost touching about this young chap who's been producing his careful sketches during 3 lifetimes. And this is how he does it. An unusual behind-the-clothes look at his driving force. 3 sets of cams that give him that dexterous attention to detail. There's a second mechanism to bring all 12 cams into play and cause his eyes to follow the deft movements of his drawing hand. And when he stops to appraise what he's done, make him blow away any dust that's settled on his pad. Just watch. As an artist, he's skilled at 4 drawings, and, as you can see, he's a young man of his time. Louis XVI facing Marie Antoinette, Cupid in a chariot lashing out at a butterfly, and a finely shaded dog. As the young artist completes this sketch, he stops, considers, and then writes in a decisive hand, "Mon toutou, my doggy."
The accuracy of those mechanics to be able to draw that dog so perfectly and right is just nuts, to be honest with you. But the one thing that puts me off with that doll, I mean, look how creepy it is. Don't tell me that thing doesn't get up in the middle of the night and come to life and then come up to your bedroom and choke you in your sleep. And you know what, actually, if it's mechanical, I suppose it's a form of art, isn't it?
Okay, if you're at all like mentally unstable or fragile, don't watch this one. So I've made a lot of videos about organoid intelligence in the past. That's where you take human brain cells and grow them in a petri dish and then use a computer to train them just like AI. They're actually more powerful than AI in that they learn quicker and are more energy efficient, but there are huge ethical concerns with them because they have similar brain activity to a premature baby. And there's a lot of people out there that object to these because there's a decent amount of evidence that they're conscious, just like a person. I recently posted a company called Final Spark, and they actually have something called Neural Platform where you can rent out essentially server space on these organoid brains, so you can pay for them to do things for you. This is a live stream of the organoid brain computers that you can rent out, but there's something way more concerning on their website, and that's this simulation which the brains are fed sensory data from, so that they can feel everything the butterfly feels and control it to like fly around. The reason why that's terrifying is there's a good chance the brains, if they are conscious, just believe they are that butterfly. Because when they're not in use by someone purchasing their computational power, they just fly around and exist in that simulation. And you probably already see where I'm going with this, but if this is possible, you could make a pretty good case that we are just organoid brains somewhere and this is a simulation that we're in. And maybe like when you daydream or just fall asleep, that's someone using your consciousness to do something else. I don't know, but crazy to think about, crazy times.
We need to start boycotting these companies as soon as possible. Out of all the things you can write on this customizable can, there's one thing and only one thing that you cannot write. So writing Allah loves you is fine, right? Okay. So what else are we going to type in? Wait till you see what you're not allowed to say. Buddha loves you. Okay, so you can say the name of really anyone, right? Or at least it appears that way. And just know it's not just Coke cans. It's news, it's TV, it's public sports events. Jesus. Oh wait, sadly we cannot automatically allow this text on the can. So we cannot put Jesus on that can. Satan. You can write Satan on these cans, but you cannot write Jesus? All Christians need to start boycotting all things that will not allow Jesus. And for the name legalist, Jesus is not Zeus. Zeus is quite literally Zeus, taken from Jupiter in English as well. Jesus, Jesus, Yehoshua, Yeshua.
For those of us who are Christians, we know what this represents and what this means, given the times that we are in. But for those of you who don't believe in God, does this not make you question why they're removing the name of Jesus on their cans, but they don't remove other kind of gods as like Buddha or Allah?
Did you watch all of that John Oliver thing? Yeah. The part with the Microsoft, the Twitter account?
Oh, yeah.
The chick, what was her name? It was like Ashley or something. Yeah. It was an AI that they gave their own Twitter account. And it would self-learn just from interacting. And within, it was like 20 minutes, right? In 20 minutes, this AI became very anti-Semitic and was like, Hitler had it right. And Microsoft freaked out and they immediately like pulled it like, oh my gosh, we can't do this. But it's just like,
why? Why is that?
It was just self-learning. So people were just like, it like attracted apparently anti-Semitic people that were commenting on it, and it learned to like interact with them because it started with like,
these guys seem cool.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, it started out with like, hi, this is a great day. What a beautiful like sunshine, whatever. And then like 20 minutes later, it's like Hitler was right.
Oh my
and it's like,
God.
no, pull it down. Pull the plug.
I know AI was created by man, but you've seen for yourself there, within 20 minutes it's going to turn to evil. And this is why I think that AI is going to be our downfall. And it just seems that AI is just demonic in nature, generally.
The Lucifer telescope, but underneath the Lucifer telescope is a massive underground bunker. The Vatican's assistant, that's, for aerospace and tech, says that they're, actively looking for aliens, and that the Pope can't wait to baptize the first alien. This is public press release by the Vatican that anybody can look up.
Baptize.
They want to baptize.
Because the alien needs Jesus.
Right.
I hate that. And this is the thing, and I've said this on the show a million times, and I'll say it again, is when I was sitting in the front of St. Peter's Basilica, and I'm looking around, and I'm seeing everything, I'm going, this has nothing to do with Jesus.
Nothing. Zero.
Like, it has nothing to do with Jesus.
It's not even in the same category.
Nothing. Like, nothing that the Roman Catholic Church ever has to do with Jesus. That's about power and control and their own agenda. It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
When I discovered about the Council of Nicaea, when I discovered about all the other councils, about writing and building the Bible, and like editing things out, like no reincarnation, we can't have that. That's not good for control.
Let's be honest here. The alien doesn't need Jesus. The Pope needs Jesus.
My son is almost 2 and I've been letting him watch Cocomelon, but now I had to get him speech therapy so I can get him to talk. There are hundreds and hundreds of anecdotes in which parents mention the exact same problem. The Cocomelon show is so insanely addictive, it's being compared to nicotine and causing developmental issues amongst the kids who can't stop watching. Children's TV expert Jerica Sands calls it the most damaging show a child can watch, explaining the sneaky ways in which they make the show addictive. Firstly, there's the colours. Take for example the wheels on the bus. The 3 main colours, blue, green and yellow, are all at maximum saturation, meaning they cannot be made any brighter no matter how hard you try. Extreme saturation is normally used for alerts and notifications, as it's exciting, dynamic and attracts attention, which is why it's also used in slot machines. Cocomelon puts these colours in perfect contrast, making them appear even more vibrant, which is different to, for example, Bluey, in which the colours instead blend together. Cocomelon's also different because it's highly repetitive. There's a reason they have 38 videos with over 1 billion views. A child's brain is wired to learn through repetition, so it feels right to them to watch the same thing over and over again. Cocomelon abuses this in almost every video. For example, in the Yes Yes Playground song, they pick a word to repeat 3 times in every sentence, pairing it with a subtly repeating background lullaby, keeping children hooked. Literally no show or movie puts my son into a deep trance the way Cocomelon does. The second it's on the TV, he turns into a toddler zombie who doesn't see or hear anything else that's going on in the room. This is only exacerbated by Cocomelon's subtitles, which have also been a heavy point of criticism. The letters are not educational, I can barely read them fast enough. It's simply another interesting element to capture your little one's attention. Cocomelon explains in every description, our goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience for kids, giving you the peace of mind that your children are receiving quality educational content. But people have argued that they're teaching exactly what children shouldn't do. For example, in the No No Bedtime song, the baby refuses to brush his teeth, have a bath, put on pajamas or get in bed. The education is that he eventually agrees to do so, yet a TikTok user was critical, stating, anytime I'd ask my son to do a simple task, he'd say no, no, no. He's sitting there watching Cocomelon, which taught him no, 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 and to say no to me. On the topic of education, Jerica Sands stated, these people don't give a shit about our children.
What's your thoughts on this one, and who do you think is to blame? Do you think the Cocomelon is this evil production company that is set out to destroy the minds of young ones? Or do you think that parents are to blame to some degree? Maybe some parents are using TV as an additional method of or form of parenting?
This is Cairndhu House in Northern Ireland, where chilling tales of the paranormal have lingered for decades. Built in 1875, it was once a grand mansion, but after its abandonment, it became something far more sinister. Visitors report seeing the ghost of Lady Edith Dixon, the wife of the house's original owner. They say she wanders these halls, trapped between this world and the next. But it's not just Lady Dixon. Disembodied voices, sudden cold spots, and eerie footsteps have terrified those brave enough to enter. Legend has it, the house itself feeds on fear, growing stronger with every scream. Do you believe in ghosts? At Cairndhu House, you just might.
I'm not one to explore abandoned buildings, but for some reason I feel compelled to actually explore this place, and I know Boise would definitely be after that as well. So if you just want to see that, let me know in the comments, and me and Boise will get something organised.
There you go. All right.
You come to me on the day of the father's daughter's birthday, but I like you, so I'm gonna make you an offer that you can't refuse. Capiche? Capiche.
Wash his hands.
Hey, bro, what are you doing? Hey, what the fuck? Hey, what?
怎么了？我这汤是吧？吐成这个样子，你自己尝尝。哎，帅哥，要不我们帮你重新换一个好吧？没事，是我酒喝多了吐里面了。
Smash that like and subscribe button, and I hope to see you again in the next video. But until then, take care and much love.